What is going on? You tube world. Lamp, Steve, Vinny. I'm Dave. This is the Insert Revolution podcast. Technically, if we're gonna be technical, episode 114, but in the annals of history, it's 115. Sort of a follow-up of last week. Again, you can do 3-4 weeks of these. I think this will be our last sort of looking back maybe at a few purchases we missed out on, and then looking ahead for some of the activities of the upcoming year and or events or stuff that's planned, and try to put a positive spin. We'll do the looking back first, then looking ahead. Obviously, you don't want to flip flop, and just go over things again. The placard, it was a tough one. It was a tough one to make because whenever I put the other pictures on top of the road, everything became like digitalized or whatever. When you get the old school satellite feed, that sucks. So on the left is the Giordano's Pizza. The middle is the National, obviously, and then the right is Lake Superior. So that was a battle of the haves and the have-nots.
That's one way to put it.
That is, I was expecting Georgia to win, but I wasn't expecting Georgia to win by 8 touchdowns. 9 touchdowns, whatever it was.
What was the final? What, 65-7?
So, 8 touchdowns and a field goal? Because they missed an extra point, I think, at the end. But, yeah, that was not a good performance.
Well, I was rooting for TCU only because Texas ties, but deep in the soul, I was rooting for Georgia because
what do we want?
Who's the player I collect? So there you go. Back to back, which, is huge in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
More so these days than what it used to be. There's a lot of teams that flip flop throughout the year, atop of the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those in which, to me, it's a lot more competitive than it was in years prior with the whole playoff structure. I don't like it, but I get it. So it's rooting for TCU. Like I said, Texas ties, the underdog. I mean, they weren't expected to really be there to a degree.
No.
I mean, I honestly thought Michigan would have beat them. But TCU, as far as I'm concerned, worked the shit out of them, which was surprising. And then Georgia, kind of scooted in by the skin of their teeth against Ohio State, which to me was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But, squeaking out that win, actually, I mean, that really, I think that kind of fired them up a little bit to where it's like, holy shit, we really shouldn't have been here, maybe. Let's prove to the world that we are number one and we deserve to be here. And they freaking let them have it, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the definition about taking him out back in the woods. Beating the car, beating the piss, whatever analogy you want to use. That was just brutal.
Yeah, that was a straight ass kicking. But, it wasn't fun watching either. Unless you like a lot of offense by one team.
It was playing somebody who's never played Madden before, and you've played Madden for like the last year, 8 hours a day straight. It's like, really? You're beating them, and I get the excitement for Georgia because again, that's your culmination of the season. Again, naysayers for that quarterback they've got since he was a walk on. Oh, you can't do it again. Everybody drooling over Ohio State. Everybody drools over Michigan. TCU, as Paul said, the Cinderella. And Georgia, I've watched them because again, the CBS is on, or the games are on Paramount Plus, so I can watch when they're on there. And that offense is such a well-oiled machine. That defense, you're gonna hear probably 6 names called in the first 40 picks of the draft this year. I mean, it's never a rebuild. It's always a retool, reload. There are 5-star prospects coming out the drain pipe because that's how they recruit. So we'll have a new quarterback next year. That Bowers, if he doesn't go pro, would be shocking because he's insane at the tight end type position. I mean, his athleticism makes Gronk look like a statue.
Yeah, that kid is freaking wow.
But I don't know. Is he a sophomore or junior? Because I don't remember. So if he's a sophomore, he's got at least probably one more year because I don't think he's a redshirt sophomore.
Well, because I think they were talking about at least early on that he was like a true freshman last year.
Okay. Because I remember that at some point in watching and be like, that kid ain't a freshman. That's something else. You don't see a freshman come in there and dominate the SEC at the highest level. You just don't.
There you go. Thank you, Mike. Good to see you. So I wasn't hearing things then.
No, I figured there got to be one more year because that would have been one more that Kuiper, McShay, the whole crew would have been, oh, he's going to be a top whatever pick. And I think there's only like one tight end they're sort of picking. I think that's the Notre Dame guy, somewhere in the top 20-ish, which, again, I wouldn't pick. But at the same time, I digressed. Yeah, that whole team is just
all he's going to do, him coming back, if he plays at the same caliber, all he's going to do is, continue to move up the list, which, is good for him. You just hope it's one of those in which you hope they can make the transition, right?
Yeah.
That's always the questionable aspect, whether any of your offensive players, receiver, tight end, quarterback, running back, whether or not they'll truly make the transition and be worth a pile of beans. But it also has to be the system. We talk about it on occasion. Certain players' skill sets work better in certain systems, and until they find the right system, they're underutilized usually. So,
and then if nothing else, with the draft stock being improved, guess what? He's a security blanket or whatever for the next quarterback that comes in because he's like, okay, I got him. So I'm pretty sure that McConkey's done. He's got to be like an 8th-year senior, which I'm shocked the SEC championship I watched, his knees were just. There you go. There's Steve with some dance moves there. That's troublesome, You're off to a rip-roaring start when that happens.
And I've barely, I've had, I think, 3 sips. So.
But yeah, that game, that's basically 2 Monday nights in a row with some either one in one shape, form, or fashion. Football just wasn't meant for the last 2 Monday nights. So glad Mr. Hamlin doing marketably better.
He's back in Buffalo, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, they said he went home.
So that's good.
And for DC, it's not squirt, but it's something out of the norm. It's always sad that it takes something like that to bring a lot of people together. That's the problem.
It does, but
At least people came together. That's
it's it's a societal thing.
Oh yeah.
It's which is crazy. But yeah. But it's all about positivity. We're gonna try and keep it positive today. With that, our good friend, yeah, drum roll please. Our good Vinny has some news.
Our good Vinny.
Our good Vinny.
Yeah, good Vinny. Da 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 da. Start spreading the news. I'm a grandpa today.
Please don't sing.
She's a Nona and she's an aunt for sure. Something, something, New York.
It's not New York, it's Michigan.
Michigan, New York, same difference. Potato, potato.
It's only a few miles difference.
Yeah.
What, 719? 719. Healthy baby boy. He's in the world. It's all that mattered to me. He's healthy. Mama's doing good. Son-in-law didn't faint or pass out. He's good to go. Everybody's rocking and rolling. Thank you. Much. Right back at you, Paul. Right back at you. Thank you, fellas. So, positive news today. In a world that's usually not as positive.
So we go from positive to negative.
Don't we always?
No, not necessarily.
True.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's not fully negative. You know, it's bad. We'll call it bad. We'll cover the bad. What's going on, Bass? We'll cover the bad, then we'll cover the good. And like I said, it's not really bad. It just, let's face it, when you lose some, you hope to gain some elsewhere, but there are some that hurt more than others. I can at least say in 2022, I didn't lose any big ones. The only one that I technically lost, that Dave technically lost, but didn't lose because he had somebody do it on his behalf that ended up here. I can't count that as a loss.
6 weeks prior, you thought it was a loss. 6 weeks later, it was a fuck you.
Yes, I fucking hate you. Let's use the right nomenclature, Dave. If we're gonna say it, let's say it right. But it's one of those in which I guess I was lucky. Lucky may not be the right word, but
where's Paul with prayer hands and blessed?
I wouldn't go that far either.
You from that deep south nomenclature.
Yeah. Let's go with that one, Dave. I didn't go after a ton really last year. If you really think about it. I mean, the collection took up roughly 2 months. That was huge in the scheme of things, not just from a account perspective, but some big ads as it pertains to some of the serial numbered stuff. some of the lowered serial numbered stuff, especially on the autograph front.
Hmm.
But I was trying to think. Uh, anything for you, Baz. Anything for you. Of course, you can only see part of the wreath, and it's not even a New Year's. It's one that my sister made for us. It's got a K on the door, or it's got a K on it. I was trying to think if there was anything that I bid on that I lost. At some point, when one of you guys end up chatting a little bit more, I'll go look at my eBay and see if anything comes to mind. But if I did lose anything, it wasn't one that it's like, oh damn, that sucks. That one's gonna hurt. I did let one go, only because I couldn't tell if there was some condition issues. So it was from Fleer's Showcase. It was a legacy. So serial number to 20. So it
Okay.
is a big card. I think it was 2001.
2000.
I think 2000. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was 2000 or 2001. But I had it on the watch list. It's a known Terrell Davis seller. It's not his prime thing, but he does sell quite a bit of Terrell Davis. Un momento, por favor.
Really? Did I ever show you that after I completed it?
No, that's really cool. That's awesome, kid.
Back up.
But from the picture, starting bid was $80, which isn't terrible. No, I don't have it in hand at all. As it was getting closer to the auction ending, I really started to scrutinize the photo, and I couldn't tell if it was the top loader or if there was some chipping on the front of the card. Something it just, I don't know, something caught my eye and it didn't look right. And we don't, I mean, we talk about it frequently. Eye appeal, means different things to different people. And where it wasn't anywhere on like the silhouette of Terrell Davis. It was on the outside of it. But it's like my eye kept going to it. And on the back, you could tell that the card that was behind it, there was some remnants of the other card on the back, which on the back, okay, not a big deal. But so yeah, I let it go. I'm not like jumping up and down, screaming and yelling that why'd you let it go? Because I guess the time wasn't right. Maybe that's my story. But it didn't piss me off. So there you go. That's Northcutt. Yeah. Oh, you've got multiple. But that's that being rookie, the colors are different because I think on the base, the background's black. I think.
Okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that. Like the silhouette is reversed almost.
Okay.
But it's my eye kept drawing to it, so that's really the only one that got away, per se. Outside of that, like I said, when I hand it over, since Dave decides to go off camera, I'll hand it over to Vinny to kind of talk about his. I'll peruse my eBay and see if anything else kind of sticks out.
Lost the mirror blue 3 times. That one was tough. Maybe even 4. But I lost it to Joe one time. So I only count 3. I think that's what it was. Because if Joe has one, I don't mind losing to Joe because he's a Lemieux collector. So mirror gold, I lost twice. Those were the 2 big beats. Probably the hard one is the I gotta think of the name of it. Let me look real quick.
Shut up, Gelly.
Galaxy, calm down, buddy.
You still perusing?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I sent it to Dave the other day. It's a Pacific card. It's titanium. Where the heck did it go?
Whatever it was, that one to 31.
Oh yeah, it had. It's I think it's either to 20 or 25, and it has. Here it is. 2011-12 Panini Titanium 6-star memorabilia, number to 25. So, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, we started getting food pictures.
Yeah, it's like what?
You take my phone or what?
Apparently, the Matrix got it. Here, we'll just do this.
You're just
No, I think you.
Yeah,
I think
that's
you
true.
touched it. I think you ended up touching the side of the screen, and it just started.
Yeah.
Please make sure that garbage goes out.
It will. I just like the picture because he's shooting, and then I think there is, unless it's like a Canada Cup or All Star, you cover about every jersey color because it's jersey, fight strap, prime,
strap.
nameplate, patch, and jersey number.
It's almost like the in the game or the whatever the complete, where
Yeah.
they've got like the 4 to 6 varying degrees.
So that one was a tough one to miss out. That one I was getting on a plane and couldn't do the last minute thing. Thank you, good doctor. Appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know about the next Lemieux collector. But we shall see what he decides to do.
Well, he has a hell of a start.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
between C and him.
With the doubles, I could probably start them both. Yeah, I could definitely start him with a little PC of his own. Of just about anything he wanted to start.
Right. Any other ones that you can think of, Benny?
No, to me, those were the rough ones. I try to forget the bad beats because you just gotta, like you say, it wasn't the time. And I just move along on. Because something else cool is gonna pop up. Like I have next week I'll show some of the I haven't nothing of 2023 yet, but when that starts rolling, see where we end up with that. Curious to see what we're going to see in July. Really curious what's going to be there hockey wise. So,
I did a quick peruse, and there is nothing on my list that I went after and lost. So that's a first. Because I don't win everything. That's for sure. But Dave, how about you?
And trying to think of this, the stuff that I lost was either like with Vinny, big ones that we want, but they just went for stupid amounts. And I'll speak for him on that with the mirrors that they were 2 years ago. I still remember. I think it was the first gold we talked about, where that ended up comparative to like where the blue is at now, where the blue has superseded the gold from that time. It's like that's that is a chunk of change. I won't speak for you on this part. If you spent the money in the blue now, I think it'd be like yes, but in the same vein, it'd be like wow, that's a lot. But again, it's one that you want. It's one that's high on the list. So if things can be managed, it's like okay, I can. This is one, just get it out of the way, not no matter the cost, but for me, there's what I know. What was it at too? And I don't even remember because I remember early on. I think the StarQuest Gold sold a Brodeur, but it was 4 figures, and I'm not in the boat of even considering that. There's only one card of Brodeur that'd be thinking of that, and that'd be the Atomic Mirror Image to 25. That would be the only one I'd consider spending over $1,000 on. Not that I want to, so don't anybody go in your closet and start flashing and like you're in 1,200 for it. And I no. Josh Johnson wise, I can't think of anything. There might have been something that slipped away, but again, nothing that I can remember. Again, won something the other day for a lot cheaper than I bid on or had my max at. But nothing new to the collection. It's just me hoarding low numbered cards to 10 and under. And people aren't going to bid accordingly, then I will win them. And they'll be coffin cards because they'll be buried in them. All of them. Well, probably not, but.
There'd be no room for you then, Dave.
Well, we've got the piano size one, like the one they probably buried the two fat dudes on the motorcycle from the Guinness Book of World Records. I'll get that guy or his grandson or somebody to build me a coffin of that size because those two had some carriage to their frame. I don't know. I mean, there wasn't a ton that, not that like Steve said for himself. It's like not that we win everything. We go after. What's going on, Eric? But in the same vein, and I've gotten it's partially better and partial memory loss. Like stuff doesn't sting, I guess, as much as it did like 10, 15 years ago. But my memory's not as good. So if I see something that I really would like to get, it's like, okay, I've got to make an offer on it, or I know I've got to bid insanely strong. Because then I don't want these moments of like, oh, fuck, I should have bid more or whatever. And you don't want that, especially with something that's super low numbered. That happened the other day because I was at work. And I was pissed off because it was fucking the auction went off at like 8:45, 9 in the morning, and I completely spaced it, and it went for fucking peanuts and incredibly low numbered, and so have to deal with that. But
note to self: 2952 of episode 115. Dave needs to circle back to for this episode next year. Make note of it, Dave. Oh, I was expecting the middle finger.
No. Positivity.
Well, that could have been a positive fuck you.
Positive. Say fuck you. No, but like again, if I wanted a Carl Pickens, it's a PMG Emerald. I'm not spending $3 fucking grand. I don't know. That doesn't behoove anyone. When I sold the stuff to Ryan, it's like, well, could I have gotten more? You think that, but then after a while, that finally went away. I'm like, I was able to do a lot of shit with that money. It's not like, oh man, nothing came of it. I was able to sock a little away, pay some rent, pay forward on bills a bit, get Ed Sheeran tickets, do some Christmas shopping, where other years some of that stuff might not have just been there might have been a smaller parcel of stuff. It's just like, I think of it in that regard too, where like, yeah, sucks to have stuff go. A goal though is always try to sell, try to move stuff. Always give yourself some of that financial leeway into certain situations. Where if you need the money, if you need some sort of big chunk of change.
Well, we've also talked about it before. You know, as collectors, most of us would love to be able to self-fund. You know,
Oh god, that'd be great.
be able to to move and shake a bunch of stuff to keep, you know, adding stuff to the collection. But you know, sometimes that's difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to say on a different note, since Eric just popped in, um, not sure why it took him so long to follow me on Instagram, but I've officially made it.
Huh.
The Beckett lover has finally followed me on Instagram. Only took him, you know, a year and a half or so, give or take. But I digress. Anyways,
I wish.
and 1 second, real quick,
Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
And since now he decided to finally follow me on Instagram, we're gonna make sure that 2023 Eric pays a shit ton of money to Carlos's stream and now to the IRP. So we don't have the same viewership as Carlos does, part of it because it's on a Tuesday night. However, for those who want Eric to pay more in 2023 than he did in 2022, hit that thumbs up button. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyways, Dave, you were going to say.
This is and this is sort of serious for Eric, since I see more and more pictures of people coming in to his shop or wherever he's working, whatever side hustle, whatever main hustle he's doing. Eric, you asshole, if these people are coming in, please let me know. So I can get, if you're meeting these folks and they're signing, so you can get, for me, stuff signed to my daughter, Naomi. Because I see 8x10s, that's in my wheelhouse of getting shit for her. So at some point in time, I will message you on the grams that are instant. Because I saw the Ray Bork and I saw some of the I don't even know what your All-Star jersey when he won like maybe the MVP in the game. Like that's a picture I would love. but that's all the stuff that I get signed as to her, or like inscribed to her. So, Eric, you fucking cunt, I am going to make sure that your wrongs are made right. And you will pay more in 2023 than you did in 2022. Man. Because I've always said that will be where I make, if I want connections or if I've got connections, that will be the road I use them for. I don't give a shit for me for Naomi to have a collection, and when I expire and she can go look at this couple binders of stuff inscribed to her and be like, well, who the fuck's Ric Flair? I know my dad liked him a lot because he's got a picture of him with Ric Flair, and I've got a picture that Ric Flair couldn't spell Naomi. Had to ask twice how to spell it. I said, in my head, I said, Ric Flair, you are from the South. Mostly in the South. I mean, from up here, Chicago area. Oh, I know Nick Foligno. Come on now. You're over there. That's the Oracle. So just by being on a show with the Oracle, the knowledge is there. So,
Osmosis trickles.
Randy Orton, Roddy Piper could not spell Naomi. Another one that I was shocked with.
I like Baz's idea. As long as it's pure silver.
Yeah.
Then we're good.
Don't
Hashtag allegedly. Maybe that's the next thing that we tap into. We move away from kidneys to silver hips. Just a thought.
Good.
Allegedly.
Our own cryptocurrency. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. But the only problem with that is it would probably go negative. So we'd probably have to start like giving away more money. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Unless one of us wins that Mega Millions, I don't think we're going to have those opportunities to do such a thing, to embark on said endeavors. But yeah, they're just, I don't know. There's stuff that you lose. There's stuff you see on Instagram where it's like, okay, if you're following someone, you're like, well, where the hell was this card? I mean, sure would be nice to have had an opportunity to purchase something, but you're like, okay, I check eBay daily, and I'm not one where I'm going to do a lot of digging. I don't say my networking days are done. Yeah, anyone, whoever it is, Eric, you have 8x10s, or you have the opportunity for 8x10s. And again, not 8x10s of the original Be a Player stuff where people are they're on the beach. It's like the one I sent Bob, the Steve Smith, the old Blackhawk, with the jorts, and I think that was it, the jorts and like the surfboard. It's like, I sort of want to know who they are without having to think. And then having her think, like, why is this dude in like a construction hat? Like, why is he signing my name on a picture? So, but yeah, you look at Instagram, you're like, well, where did that come from? I'm checking all that stuff, ComC, eBay. Don't do a lot on the forums anymore because there's just stupid people everywhere, and you got to limit the stupid. Like I said, the networking, it's like you do a little of it, but you don't want to. I don't want to be a beggar. I don't want to say my collection's great and please give me a deal. My little tin cup. It's like, no, people reach out, and they reach out. If they don't, I don't really care. But yeah, I'm sure there's more that like maybe a Keon Clark credentials or something like that, because that's I think one of the only ones I need, and that would have been probably the one to like 92 or whatever the not the reverse one, because I think that's to like 28. That would have been a tougher one to pull off at all, but just the StarQuest Gold, but again, price came into like you with the Atomic. It's like you're not going to pay that much for the Atomic. I'm not going to pay that much for the StarQuest Gold, no matter where the market has dictated. That's not. If I'm put in a situation where I've got a box of stuff and it's like, okay, let's do a cash trade. Yeah, well, we'll think about something then. If I can defer costs by trading product. What's up, Dopey? But other than that, I'm not going to sit there and spend 12, 1500, 1600. I usually use a little more colorful language, Carlos. I want to use that, but I try to use more colorful, and then it's usually a block. And what do you do? So, what we've said before, and again, sort of tie a bow on this portion of the conversation. If it's something you really want, something you've looked for, pined for, yearned for, whatever the case may be, and you can pull it off within reason and add it to your collection, don't leave yourself with those questions of like, what if, or fuck, what if, should I have been more? Well, if you can, do. If you can't, don't. Just because you don't want to go into debt unless you've got a money tree, but those are only near the Arctic Circle. So unless you live up that way. So Paul, maybe that applies to you.
Chocolate authentication. I like the concept there. I like the idea. Just watch out, Carlos. If that's the case, if Baz is correct, he may start to peddle those 8x10 glossy photos on your show. Be careful. But then again, he's got to find a way to pay, pay for all the thumbs up. So it's the double-edged sword, Do you let him? Do you not?
You don't want him to fall behind.
Oh, ay. I'm sure we will, Carlos. I'm sure we will. In much more detail, I'm sure. Because I would be interested to see what the price breakdown is. How much he pays you per thumbs up and what you use that for. I'd like an overall accounting idea, just to see if it's advantageous for you. But then again, I'm sure you've got it all figured out. As long as it works in your favor. Cancel Bougie Eric. Oh, we got a new hashtag. Good. I like to hear it, Carlos. Scholarship is good. It's been a while since we've thrown out the hashtag scholarship out there in a while. Although it did make an appearance in one of your year in review videos, Carlos, with the clips. I did finally get around to watching that one. I think I still have a few other ones I need to watch of yours, but I did get a chance to watch that one. So yeah, I was curious to see what clips you ended up pulling for the year, which I know it Carlos, I'm going to just offer a suggestion, and I know exactly where this is going to go because I'm just waiting for the comment to come through. But maybe you start capturing some of those clips kind of early on, because for the last 2 years, they've been good. I am not. This is not a critique or criticism or anything along those lines. The recaps are fantastic. I love to watch them because there's always moments in which I kind of chuckle and laugh in a lot of those clips. Because let's face it, even if you watch the show or you didn't, just sometimes the snippets can be taken in so many different ways. So, depending on situation and circumstance. But have you ever thought about trying to capture some of those kind of, maybe do some snippets early in the month or each month? So then maybe, you can compile it a little bit more. I know that's easier said than done. We all have, adulting sucks. So we all have jobs and everything. But I think it'd be pretty freaking cool to actually see literally a 20-minute video of a culmination of all sorts of clips for the year. Just my opinion, because I'd love the hell out of it. But that's just me. So, and you can give me the big middle finger too if you want. I mean, that's fine too. So, anyways, as you were saying, Dave.
But yeah, just bid within your means. But if you have to try to bid for something you're looking for many a moon, bid strong so you don't have that sense of regret. We've talked about that many a time. It's something that hasn't come along and you've been after it for 3, 5, 10, 12 years, 20 years. Bid to win, but again, bid within your means. So
Yeah, Baz, I'm not that creative. Not to mention, I think my wife would probably kill me if I destroyed any of the wreaths. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And ashes probably wouldn't last. I think they'd disintegrate over time. So it'd be very difficult to find a way to encapsulate it correctly. But I'm also not that creative. Just throwing that out there. I like the idea. I do. But if anybody wants to nominate themselves to create something like that, sure. Why not? Ashes may not make it to wherever I need to go, but Joe, and that's exactly, I mean, that's pretty much, I think, all of our sentiments. If you go all out, yeah, it still sucks, but at the end of the day, you don't feel near as bad. Because I know Vinny, at least on the Mirror Blues or whatever, he was swinging for the fences on every occasion. Mm-hmm. Every occasion. Still hurts. Still hurts.
I remember another one. Oh,
2 years of disappointment on that card, to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, because you swung and missed a couple times in 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes, I did. There was OPG Platinum. I think it was orange to number to 49. And Joe texted me, "You got it, right? It went for like $23." I said, "No, my dad called me and I forgot about it." But I'm like, I could get mad. I was mad for a minute. Then I'm like, you know what? Talking to my dad is more important than winning a freaking card. And you know what? Probably wouldn't have said that a while ago, but the more I think about stuff in life, talking to my dad is worth more than winning that card. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Exactly, Ghost. Even with noise canceling headphones, I could still hear that friggin' high pitched barkings for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, we hear it frequently.
Yeah, I hear it quite often.
At least it doesn't echo. At least not for me, it doesn't.
No.
As somebody's like revving their engine.
His
going
is
down.
a high, Dryden's is a deep bellow, and then I don't know what this squeaky toy behind me is. Oh, he's under the table. I'm like, he was behind me. Now he's under the table eating a bottle.
Did you say eating a bottle?
The the water bottles. If he finds
Yes.
one, he'll jump up and knock it down, and then he just chews on it.
That's what that's what Charlie does.
So
It's always fun to if we don't get it quick enough because like he'll eat it. Charlie will eat it. It's no different. He'll eat towels, microfiber, bathroom towels, Kleenex, paper towels. The
that's
dog will eat.
that's that's Shelby's Taz. Taz is like that. He'll eat stuff. I'm like, where did it go? And when Shelby lived here, you go outside and you look in the middle of the yard, and I'm like, oh, there it is. Son of a
Yep.
gun ate it. And Nala's the same way. Haley's dog. It's like, dude, what are you eating? And she's just, I'm like, you got the best food, the best treats, and you want to eat like Play-Doh. What the hell?
Yep.
See, there
It's
was a
fun to
little
walk.
curse word for you. A little one. It's a taste. That's about the worst I've ever said. Except that one night.
It's
But
fun. It's fun to walk outside and see the multicolors and the crap piles in our backyard from seeing what Charlie has eaten at some point. uh, I digress. So, on to a more positive. The look ahead, since we're all in 2023, we made it to another year. We all had pickups. We all had successes. We all probably had a few failures when it comes to stuff as far as pickups are concerned. We won't get into life life details or work or anything along those lines. This is supposed to be focused around the hobby. So the look ahead. Who wants to start? Not everybody talk at once. And thanks for the look there, Vinny. Jeez.
I'm cooking mac and cheese at 9:35 at night for endless stomach in there in the other room. Just ate a double cheeseburger with extra pickles. She's like, I'm hungry still. I said, well, you got another one. I got that one. That's for lunch tomorrow at school. Mac and cheese, please. She's gonna go 2 inches, 3 inches in the next month. This is what happened. She goes from picking like a bird, dating like this, like nonstop, and then.
So the look
But I
ahead for Vinny
digress.
is making mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's in the now now. So somebody can go, and then I'll think about that question, and we'll go from there.
So this is now. Now.
Just then. Now we're now.
But I want to go back to then.
You can't.
Yes, I can.
But
Where are you going
then
with
it's
this?
I don't know. It was like an endless Spaceballs loop. Dave,
Yeah, that
all you, buddy. Let's go.
Let's go.
no, not in that way. But we'll let you kick it off. What's on second?
Who was on first?
Carlos already said that though.
It's all right. I'm just reiterating. Hobby wise, again, the jersey stuff, like it's fun to look through the stuff and just see if you can pick, because again, this doesn't have to be to a player, to a team you like, or a player you collect. This is just like, hey, pretty much anybody in that era you can name. Like, if I picked up a Rolando Blackman jersey, I'd be excited. A Roy Tarpley jersey, I'd be excited. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and start collecting the cards, but it's just a different level of collectability to a degree, hobbying to a degree, but looking forward to National. Obviously looking forward to food. Looking forward to Vinny going away. I know he's left the camera on, so
Well,
dropped
that's
him.
why I just dropped him down real quick.
just
I didn't
looking
feel like changing the name either because
positivity.
it's only one of those, he doesn't have an opportunity to put that up very often, so I didn't want to change the name. So
Next week, though, I know you said hobby, but I've got the Lake Superior, so I'm always looking forward to what's up, LA Pats? Looking forward to the old camping. Looking forward to the Eddie Sheeran concert in August. Trista showed me, I think, last week that Stevie Nicks, Billy Joel, her and Stevie Nicks are going to on tour. See if we can get some tickets for that. Cousin they had for her mom and dad their 50th anniversary in November. We couldn't make it down there, and but that got them going, thinking about like a family reunion. I said, that's fine. I tried my one. I am not trying again. I made my effort. So keep me abreast of what's going on. So they're trying to figure something out. So again, that's something I do not want on my deathbed. Is Naomi never got to know her cousins on my side of the family. That's I've mentioned that before. That as much as family, I would say, isn't important in the regard of communicating and keeping in touch, I want her to at least know these people, so names or slash faces are semi-familiar.
If it wasn't Kraft mac and cheese, I would do the test, but this is
Wait,
this is not worthy of the throw against the wall to see if it sticks test.
are we knocking Kraft mac and cheese, Vinny? How
Not at
dare
all,
you?
but there's things better than Kraft macaroni and cheese. But I do like Kraft macaroni and cheese, so I won't mock it.
That used to be a Dave staple. That and
Kraft
Hamburger
dinner.
Helper. No, Hamburger Helper. God, I still remember that. Sorry, I didn't mean to change throw a curveball since we're talking about the
No, I
look
remember
ahead.
that. I remember that story.
Oh, it ain't just a story; it's on video.
Yeah,
I know it is somewhere.
Yeah, I bet you if you looked up hamburger helper horde, it would be one of the first 5 videos. Should be.
It's not as good as what it once was. Just throwing that out there.
No, the boxes are completely like half the size, so you don't get a good. You have to buy 2 boxes to get like a decent little amount out of it. You make 1 box, it's pretty much like a bowl. That
Right. We do have to answer this question. It is very
It's
important.
number one.
Because I
Number
do
one.
agree. Oh, there you go, Dave. Number 1 video for
Hamburger,
Helper.
if you put in hand bigger helper, you're number one.
Ham bigger?
Yeah, hand bigger helper. Hand bigger. HANBIRGER. Hand bigger. Hamburger helper.
Nice.
Okay. Now you're not number one. When you misspell it, you're number one. If you spell it correctly, you're 5. Top
So yes,
5.
Well, he said top 5.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, we have to answer this question. It is important. Everybody in the chat needs to chime in here too. Just throwing
I
it out
use a
there.
fork.
Dave,
spoon.
I'm a fork guy. All right, guys, come on. Let's see those answers.
Yeah, I will never eat mac and cheese with a fork. 99% of the time because I'm eating something else with it. It's either like green beans and some meat. I'm one that's doing the digging. If stuff is getting caught along the way, we're dredging. Oh, there's some beans, there's some mac and cheese, there might be a little meatloaf in that bite. Okay. And you get the juice.
All right, so we've got 3 spoons.
3 forks.
So 3 forks. not the restaurant. All right, come on, guys. More answers. Kraft mac and cheese. Well, see, I eat it in a bowl.
Come here.
I eat it in a bowl, but I eat it with a fork. Because there's a lot of times in which I like to put the tines through the inside part of the noodle.
I did
that. I did that as a kid. That's the whole reason why it's kind of stuck.
That's a satisfying feeling.
I like Carlos's answer. Come on, we need more answers. There's more people in here than we have answers. We're 3-3-1 since we got a spork in there. All right, come on.
What about? Maybe we'll stay on the Kraft mac and cheese, but what about the chopsticks?
That's a big. I call bullshit on that one.
Yeah. Next time you're on Carlos's show, so this Friday night, eat Kraft mac and cheese with a set of chopsticks, Eric.
No, I want him to use chocolate sticks as chopsticks. If we're gonna do it, go big or go home. There you go, Carlos. Your Friday entertainment. Kraft mac and cheese eaten by Bougie Eric with chocolate sticks being used as chopsticks. Yeah, there we go. Oh, nice one. Ay, ay, ay. That's funny.
But what about like Velveeta or the box with the pouch of like the cheese sauce? What do you eat that with? Spoon or fork?
That's with the fork too. Because usually I don't do like that. Okay. I don't eat Kraft mac and cheese like by itself randomly.
Mm-hmm.
If I do like the single serve ones, then yes, I still eat it with the fork. So it doesn't change. But, if you're going to do the Velveeta mac and cheese type stuff, I'm still using a fork because it's usually with dinner and what we have with it. I eat it with the fork.
Spoon, same thing. Because I usually eat it out of a bigger bowl. Like you'd put like mashed potatoes in at like Thanksgiving, because I'll make the thing, put it in there, stir it up, and then it's literally just inhaling it at this point. Just it's so good. Now what about
Hashtag IRP after dark.
Do you eat your Kraft macaroni and cheese with a spoon or a fork?
Fork.
Huh?
Fork.
A fork? Then I give you a spoon. Why did I do that then? Apparently you're eating it with a spoon tonight.
See, you ruined it, Vinny. All your fault. Forks would have won.
Well, she said fork, so
Oh, jeez.
as long as it's not etching sounds. As long as it's not etching sounds.
Oh yeah, let's stay away from that, please. Let's not give him too much credit, Baz. Let's not give him too much credit about inventing anything.
yeah?
We don't want to get his head any bigger than what it already is. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. Did I stutter? I didn't stutter, did I? No.
No, you're good.
Okay. I was just making sure. So, anyways,
Poor
Dave,
Eric.
What about?
as you were saying,
And I want to know one more, because again, this is one of the other things I'm a huge fan of eating, as most food is, because again, look at me. Ramen noodles. Dry. Not, I don't mean dry like you just dump the package out and you crunch on them. You drain the juice, then do you add the powdering mix? Do you have a little juice with the powdering? And how do you, or do you have it like a soup? And if you, whatever way you eat it, is that with a spoon or is that with a fork?
Drain out almost all the water. Add the contents of said packets. Eat it with a fork. A little amount of juice just to keep it moist. Yeah, I used that word, moist. That's how
My
you
wife-
eat it.
my wife's not listening, so I think you're good there, Vinny.
And if you eat it any other way, I don't know what to tell you.
What flavor?
Chicken.
Everyone? Or
Just chicken.
I like chicken and beef, and it depends. I eat it a multitude of ways, and I'm that guy who will actually eat it out of the package with nothing. So I'll eat it dry. Uh, but since that's not technically the question, uh, if I crunch it, like fully crunch it, I eat it with a spoon. But it's one of those in which I dump the sauce packet into the noodles with the water, and then I drain it. And then I add a little bit more sodium to it because why not add a little bit more salt? At least to the
No.
beef. The beef has to have a little bit extra flavor. Chicken I can do without it. If I don't crunch it and I eat it like long, then of course it's with the fork. And I'll usually drain most of the water off and then put the powdered mixture in and then stir it up and eat it. But that's, you know, I do like ramen Doritos dry. Did it as a kid. Did it as a kid. I I don't know. It's not like it has any freaking flavor. Picante chicken. I haven't seen that one before.
That one, the way Vinny's describing, is probably the best. Little water in there, a little liquid from when you drain it to sort of mix up the sauce or the powder. Dry with a fork. Because I'm not like you. I'm not some kind of psychopath that eats it right out of the package.
What? Hold up. Time the fuck out. How does that make me a psychopath?
Some kind of whatever, eating it and
No, I'll crunch it up and freaking I eat it right out of the bag. Sometimes I put a little bit of the seasoning pack in it. Sometimes I don't.
sort of like a walking taco ramen style.
It's I don't know. When I was a kid, ramen and peanut butter toast were like the staples for breakfast in my house growing up.
Okay.
Ramen because it takes 5 minutes to cook
Yep.
outside of boiling the water.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those in which she would make it in the morning, crunched up, but she would always put some of the dry noodles in a bowl by itself. So I've eaten it like that as a kid. So I don't do it often as an adult by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one of those in which, like, if you're in like a chip mood or something and you have no chips, for me, it's a good alternative because I could sit there and eat a whole bag of chips, which isn't really good for you, or crunch on some dry ramen with a little bit of the sauce mixture or not.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not like,
a bag of chip.
see, speaking of chips,
Or do you want to? Which one?
well, I'd rather have the chips, but if I don't have chips and I don't feel like getting off my ass to go up to the Walgreens to go grab a bag of chips, but there is a caveat to eating ramen dry. It's got to be like when you first buy it, when it's not super freaking hard in the package.
Okay.
Because let's face it, ramen like has a 10-year shelf life or whatever, or something along those lines. It does get hard.
Mm.
So it's got to be, you got to be able to easily break it up to where you don't have to like bust out the sledgehammer to freaking break it into pieces. That's a big no. But if you can sit there and, do one of these with it and then, mash it down really easy, that's okay.
Yeah, if you have to stomp on it to break it,
That's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. And I'm not going to be smoking no ramen noodle, but good thought. Good thought. I do like the cup of ramen, the spicy chicken. The spicy chicken's really good.
There's another one too. I might have one on the old excitement area over here that I love the flavoring.
The excitement area.
That's where the food's at.
But see, it's got to be the Moshin. It can't be the. See, I haven't seen those before.
This one is another one that's just a. The only bad, you eat one of them, It's
Oh, you got your sodium content for like 3 days.
3 weeks.
Okay, I was trying to be. I was trying to be nice.
Just under 1,800 milligrams. I'm like, which again, that's why I never look at that. I look at when I open it up and say, man, this is going to be good. And then you try to cover up all that information here where, oh man, I can't wait to hold this. It's going to be warm. But yeah, that's a good one. A little zap to it.
That's a fair assessment, Baz. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So if anybody sees Steve, the National holding the warm taco, please feel free to get pictures and/or video to make hashtag content.
That's not going to happen.
You never know. That might be the snack you pack in your backpack.
Probably not. But if it's one of those in which you don't believe me that I have a tendency to do it, then supply the ramen, and I'll eat the whole freaking thing, man. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. Because, like I said, if you're in the chip mood and you ain't got no chips, at least it's a good alternative in my mind. So there you go.
I might have to. I'll have that one, and I'll have the hamburger helper in another.
Make sure you make a fake slab with the PSA 10 on it.
It'll just be authentic. Or I could get like the store. I'll get the store version of the hamburger helper and be like, "The fuck is that?" Like, man, this is hamburger partner. Fuck you.
Oh damn. Ay ay ay. Never fails. Somehow we get on the topic of food.
Oh no, food is good.
Yes, yes it is. What, Joe?
Never happened before.
Joe.
That's
They don't have them in Canada?
I highly doubt that. But so if what I hear correctly, Joe, if you are staying in the same place as what we are, which I think Vinny confirmed that at some point, yes? Yes, I'm talking to you, Vinny.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
No,
Ghost confirms it too.
It's fine. One of us will have to make sure we bring a thing of ramen. So he can have some ramen.
Back. I'll buy a case because it's like $3, and then whatever we don't use, we can transport as a contraband back to Canada.
They gotta have it in Canada. They got to. They gotta.
Mr. Noodles.
Oh, no ramen. Okay. Well, yep. Dave just showed the package. What the hell did I do with my damn beer? Houston, we have a problem. I've put my beer down and
Ghost, find Steve's beer.
It's right here.
Set it
I'm
off
good.
the sonic pause through the microphone. Pings, one ping only.
I'm good. So, Dave, anything else from your perspective on the look ahead for you?
and just spending time with Trista and doing whatever, adventuring. Doesn't have to be sports related. It can be thrift shop related, which we both like doing that shit. There's one that we found, and so found that.
Now, Joe, for clarification, I don't know if I'd call them delicacies, but
Yeah,
they're a staple
I
because
was
they're
gonna say,
cheap.
that might be the complete opposite of what they would be called. If somebody called it a delicacy, I don't know if they've ever eaten any other food in their life. What's up, Dazzler?
It is a staple, though.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But again, it was no COA, nothing. So again, it's one of the most forged autos ever. Even if it wasn't, Trista's like the framing on it is worth the $25 I paid for it. So
Even if it's a facsimile.
yeah, again, she's like, that's a framing job that is professional. So plan on going back to get a couple more things there, and again, stuff I don't need, but that's the problem when you think a lot of stuff that probably normal people don't think it's like really cool. So like there's another like $300 worth of stuff there that's probably ready to be purchased, but it's going to be over a period of weeks because I don't want to go in there and just drop that much money. It's a slow process. So, but yeah, doing that stuff with her camping, being with her. So then food, everything food.
Always got to circle back to food.
Food, music, Lake Superior. So yeah,
Food.
just that. I want to try to be more positive because that's never going to happen. But I did a good job of weeding out a lot of the team schmediums and all those dipshits.
No, you didn't.
No, unlike many who'll watch occasionally. I don't even see them on my feed anymore. Again, I don't know if they're making videos like any of them guys. I'm sure they are because they're. Well, no, I take that back. I did look up Team Schmedium to see if he was alive, and he was still alive and kicking, being stupid. So I'm like, good for you. Can't wait till national and tell you to fuck off because you're a piece of shit. So
There it is. There it is.
It's not going to be Alfred Hitchcock, but it's going to be about the same number of birds in the fucking Rosemont.
When does this wrap up? When is it after hours?
Breaking news after hours, but can't say
30,
it now, but
36
No,
minutes
Steve,
or so.
we need to talk.
We need to talk. 36. Anyways, you want to go next? Look ahead for you.
yeah.
You let the dogs out?
Another look ahead to letting the dogs out.
Let them out.
Okay. It's got to coordinate the dog letting out.
Yes, we know.
So National's going to be dope. I can't wait. Because Meredith looked at the credit card. She's like, what the heck is this charge for National? I'm like, that's for the National. Oh, okay. she thought I she thought I went a little bit overboard for tickets, and I was like, no. She's like, okay, that's allowed. So I'm anxiously gonna await for that. See once I entrepreneurial business. I kind of want C to see how all this works. And if you do it right and not appreciate you, bro, that you can actually make something solid out of it if it's something she ever wants to do. Which, you never know. Second part of that, we're gonna see a good bit of people. Like not only our crew of people, which is important, it's important that we start meeting everybody. Like who we know the standard group of people who's going, but like is LA Pat's going? Is Pete Az? Well, Pete Az is going. He said that before. Eric's going. We know that. Is Baz going? Is
Carlos hashtag allegedly.
Yeah, it's who else is going to be there? And then people that probably don't frequent our show, who do we want to see?
Facebook collector.
Oh, absolutely. High on the list. But that's like the big one. I've been organizing. That's like I'm really today after work I got some stuff on I took a half hour lunch. I was running a report for work, and my new machine takes a lot of oomph. So I actually ran up here, ate 2 yogurts, ran back downstairs, and I organized stuff on my half hour that I give myself for lunch. And I shredded a bunch of stuff, cleaned a bunch of stuff, and I see, like, I can almost see my collection again. So it's getting there. That's like the big one that is giving me the warm and fuzzies. You're not going to the National? Okay. I thought he was going to the National. I am incorrect then. Anyhow.
It's not bougie enough for
Oh, there we go. I do want to go to the expo. I don't know when, but I'd like to go to the expo eventually. I don't know if that'll be a full family trip or that's just me, you, everybody just go and cross the border.
that may be a 2024 thing.
Yeah, that could be a 2024 thing. But I'd like them to invent a machine looking forward to understand what Huskies talk about, because it drives me insane. Because apparently Australian Shepherds want to get in on that.
Well, Baz is going to Palm Beach. Have fun with Jeff Wilson. Not really. Be cool if you could make it to Chicago, but let's face it, we all understand it doesn't always work in everybody's cards. That's one of the main reasons why I don't really care to go to the expo. I'm not expanding the hockey collection. Don't shake your head, Dave. It's more along the lines of going to see our friends to the north that normally may or may not make it down to, let's say, the National. So
that's, I hate to say it, the expo is more going to be, yeah, I think both shows for me. I don't really care about cards. I'm hoping there's some stuff I need there, But man, it's like a family reunion of people. Like,
Sorry, Dave. I was getting ready to,
No.
to move to the next comment and clicked at the wrong time. Sorry, go ahead, Vinny.
no, I couldn't hear you for a second. My AirPods disconnected.
Oh,
I saw you at the Burbank show last time, LA Pats. I identified you as you were making a deal with somebody. I forget who it was, but it'd be nice to see. I don't care who it is. Anybody that's on here, if you're there, we got to figure it out. You know, it's anywhere that we are, at least any of us, to meet somebody else in this family that is the IRP. It's worth it to me. It's I don't care about the freaking cardboard, man. It's just if I didn't have the space here to share it with everybody else, it wouldn't mean as much. It'd be me checking off checklists, and back in the day was my brother's. I really thought my brother was going to go work for PSA one day. That's how into it he was, and it was the ties that bound, and now it's the ties that bind again. So I could say more, but yes, you can.
you can say more. We can deal with the dogs. It's part of the show.
Thank you, Ghost. I know. Please sneeze. Dryden, thank you. It's. I kind of want to get back into some of my other stuff too. I like to pick up a couple pen knives. I said that last week. Couple pens, just something to keep the other fires burning.
It was crooked.
My head's naturally crooked. It's because I have no neck apparently anymore. So that's about it. And like I always say, I'd yell at these dogs, but despite their loud and obnoxiousness, I don't know what I'd do without them.
Oh, we know.
So,
well, Baz, if it makes you feel any better, this will be my first national. It'll be Vinny's first national. So, I've. So you can't talk. How long's it been now, Dave? 12 years, 13 years on YouTube, roughly. Is that about right?
Yeah, it'll be 13 for me in May. Well, I joined February.
That's what I was getting at. But
February of 2010 I joined, and then first video was like May of 2010.
Yeah, so I'm kind of saying in the same kind of realm as you are. Dave has been to once prior. I've wanted to go to once prior, but it just never fell into the cards. But this will be the first one, and that's honestly the thing I'm looking forward to most. Honestly, like Vinny said, yeah, it's not about the cards, but let's face it, we are going to national. There's going to be a shit ton of cards there. And I've said it before. I'm looking more for potential opportunities to return favors, more so than I'm looking for myself, because there's nothing better than giving just because packages or cards to people in person. It's a little bit different of a dynamic. I hate to say this, video doesn't always capture genuine feelings, emotions, appreciation for stuff, because depending on situation and circumstance, it doesn't always come through with video. But when you're face to face, I mean, you get the true emotions and things along those lines. So I'm hoping there'll be quite a bit of exchanging in that sense. Uh, I have two people on the screen that I need to hook up. Uh, Pretty big. Yes, Dave, shut up. Quit shaking your head. Uh, you can shake your head all you want, but that's you can. I hope you get dizzy because it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Uh, if TD's there signing, I ain't getting shit. Honestly, uh, actually, I take that back.
Yeah, lies.
Well, and the reason why I'm retracting that statement, there's only one reason why I'm retracting that statement. Depending on pricing and whether or not, because I would have to ship something to Vinny, but actually, I'll go inside here. Uh, there's only one thing that I would get signed because I have everything else that I want. That right there is what I would get signed.
Oh, vintages.
Yes.
Victor?
So that being, 16 by 20, it's a flat, if the price is reasonable, I would definitely get that signed. Uh, that was a gift from a good friend of mine, Chris, uh, years ago for Christmas. So that would definitely be something that I would get signed. But outside of that, I have two jerseys. I have a full size helmet. I have a mini helmet. I've got 16 by 20 photos. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that I really care to get signed. Uh, so to answer that question, I did have to take a step back because that would be the only thing that to me would be worth it, at least in my mind. But what?
The
Big fight.
Oh,
never
These were potatoes.
sorry, I was getting lost. Somebody screwed up my my chain of thought there. How dare you, Baz?
he has that thing like in Star Trek, the food duplicator. It just sits there and TV dinner is ready.
Seasonal re-sign? No, that would take up a little too much space. But uh, let's see. As, also from the national perspective, just hanging out afterwards. Uh, yeah, it's going to be cool to meet a lot of people that I've interacted with over the years, but to go back to our little hideaway, so to speak, after the get-togethers or trade nights, after the shows and stuff along those lines, just to hang out, cut up, kid around, have a few beverages, eat more food, and just freaking cut up and just chill, tell stories, actually be in the same fucking room instead of via video screen. Uh, Not sure what the plans are from a vacation perspective for us this year. We hadn't really talked about it. Normally, we don't start talking about it until April. So I'm sure we'll think of something. But because last year's vacation was a little pricey, and national being this year, we may go a little bit cheaper this year. We may just go back down to Galveston. Uh, I've got a friend of mine that he and his wife actually have a rental property down there who has mentioned that he'll hook us up, so to speak. So I need to start having talks with him, see if that's still a possibility. Yeah, that may be to you, but take it for what it's worth. That could be the company that you hang around with. No offense, Carlos, or Bobby, or Yannick, or any of those guys. Then again, maybe they purposely made it to where you wouldn't enjoy it. Have you ever taken that into consideration? Maybe that ought to say something about you, Bougie Eric. Which side is it? The world may never know. Take it for what it's worth. Well, that was my point too, Carlos. I think it was more along the lines of he just kind of showed up and didn't leave. So he kind of invited himself. But, I was trying to be somewhat nice. I know that's crazy. Trying to stay on the positive. What else this year? My kiddo turned 16 on Friday, which is crazy. I know. That's scary to think. Because they were 2 years old, give or take, a little over 2 years old when I started on the tube, roughly. Yeah, but anybody pay attention to what the date is on Friday?
1-3.
Yep. And 13 is my kiddo's favorite number. So it's like kind of cool. Sweet 16 on Friday the 13th. But yeah. So trying to think. My neighbor across the street, not the couple that we normally hang out with, but he and I have been talking for the last few months, wanting to take the kiddo to their first rock concert. But we got to make sure that I don't want it just to be like two bands. I want it to be, 3 or 4. I don't want it to be an all day thing to where, it just gives you a swift kick in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure that it's bands that we all enjoy and that we'd like to see. It doesn't have to be ones that I haven't seen before. It could be ones I've seen in the past, but so we're going to try and keep an eye out on that. Try and go do that at some point this year. So I'll be looking forward to that, hoping that happens. And then actually going out and doing stuff with them because they go up to Denton quite frequently, which is a hop, skip, and a jump. And, they have a few places that they frequent. But go down there with them, cut up, kid around, hang out, have good conversation, a few cocktails, and then, basically come home and wrap up the evening with some more cocktails. But just to get out and go do some stuff. Last couple of years, being stuck at home and things along those lines, it's time that we need to get out and do some stuff. But outside of that, national really is the biggest thing I don't want to take away from the experience of going and with my friend and taking the kiddo to a rock concert. I mean, that's pretty high on my list as far as something to look forward to. But the national still, it's at the top of the list only because of the experience, and it's not just the show. It's also not just the guys. It's to go experience a place I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the food. I'm looking forward to trying some of the local cuisine. And like I said, it's one of those, it'd be cool if we could catch a Cubs game, but it's not going to make or break the trip. You know what I mean? It'd be a
Mhm.
cool experience because I'd be there, but it's not something that would. It's not something that I'd come home from and be like, "Damn it, everything was great, but we didn't go to a Cubs game." You know, it would be it would be cool, but there's a lot of shit to do, not just. I mean, all the restaurants in itself is a freaking trip in itself. Uh,
Mhm.
and as we know, that's going to be high on Dave and Vinny's priority list, which is fine by me because I do like food. Uh, but you know, I am looking forward to it. Like I said, everything's squared away for me except for airfare. So, and stashing money, of course.
I've started doing that, and I won't say I have like a good chunk, but that's a solid beginning, very solid beginning to that. Well, that's going to be the key to keep sort of ferreting that stuff away. And
If I, I'm not going like excessive, but at the same time, if I can avoid it, I'd rather pay everything in cash. The food, you know, eh,
yep,
the cocktails, that type of stuff. It just makes things easier that way. So
and we've learned cash is king.
still is, still is. But I'm good from my side. I think that covers it. Appreciate you, bro. Straight cash, homie.
Here's a question for us before we wrap it up. Are we taking anything with us to use as a possible trade?
No, I have nothing of significant value per se that would be able to help me in any way. It would have to be in volume for me, and I don't feel like lugging a bunch of shit because, like, I'll probably end up shipping. Like, if I have stuff for like gifts, I'll probably end up shipping it to you, and then probably having you ship it back after the show was done because I don't care to have TSA freaking going through my crap. Not that I'll
Just
be coming
don't.
home with sealed wax or anything, but still, I don't want
I
them
plan on
fucking
it.
thumbing through my shit.
Yeah, that's the only. I've seen those horror stories. I've heard them. I agree. I
Dave
I
say,
I'm
"Oh,
debating on what I'm taking. I might take a handful because if
Yeah,
it could land me something I want, there's a couple cards that I really don't care anything about, or I have doubles, so I might do that. I don't know.
yeah, it just depends. Somebody gets hot, and I've got something. Okay, I'll move that. I don't care, but there, I don't know. I just because I don't want to bring as much as people want to see like the good box of the Hall of Fame stuff. I don't want to bring that and be tempted. So again, it's stuff I really don't care to move. Um, I think the only stuff I'd be bringing would be stuff to like that's going to be going to other folks. to make sure that get it out of my hands, get it into theirs, and be done with it. Other than that, I'm like, again, it just has to depend if somebody's having a historic season. I've got something of them. I have nothing into it, as the kids would say. I just want to, if I can part with that and parlay that into something else if the opportunity arises. Yeah, like the Hall of Fame stuff. That's the stuff that I haven't and don't want to get rid of and have no plans on getting rid of. Just because the rarity, you don't see it. So that's the stuff that I'm like, unless you're talking some cut autos, like out of the Wuju collection. Even then, he and I are different in the sense where he'll take the stuff that isn't like the old NT cut. I want the stuff for the SP cut edition. I want
SP Legendary Cuts.
Yep. I want the stuff with the people their face on there. I'm not a fan of the just, hey, name, team, position. Here's the cut. There's no picture anywhere.
Yeah. Prime cuts would be another one.
Yeah.
At least for baseball. At least for baseball.
So that would be that. I mean, it's like I don't need. I wouldn't need to bring it because I don't want to be tempted if somebody's offering some decent cash or coin for it. Because again, I know what I've got into it, and unless it's to fund something out of like the Brodeur wants, where it's mostly the like we mentioned before, the StarQuest Gold, the Atomic Refractors, Superscripts, the early Superscripts, stuff like that. And then, which I fully don't expect to find there. Again, up in Toronto, more of a possibility, but I'm expecting. Vinny and I talked about doing like the crypto grifter, his style, bellying up to the value boxes. Now, will I go to every dollar box? Probably not. Will I go to like the 5, 10, 20 ones? Half price box? Because more than likely, that's going to be where I'm going to be finding stuff that's really appealed to me. Like old, like 10 years ago cards, maybe numbered to 5 that were marked at 40 and now are 20. You can maybe bundle them up and do whatever, but the dollar box I love looking through, but that knowing from the national and doing that before, it is a time consuming, and when you get done with it, you are tired. I've looked through 3 tables worth of value boxes before. I mean, I found back then 150, 160 bucks worth of shit that easily I made money on or I traded away for better stuff. But just looking through that, because it took me 2 hours, I think, 2.5 hours. By the time I was done, I was fucking, again, nothing to do with like my current physical condition ever. But you just get tired. You're standing, you're looking, you're concentrating for 2.5 hours on cards. None of us do that normally. It gets tiresome, and then I just stick with like if you leaf through the box and you're like, oh, see like 2 or 3 cards, it's sort of like, sort of from the era of stuff I really dig. It is like some kind of atomic refractor from uh, baseball from like 2000 or something. And you're like, oh, okay. And then there's an SPX Radiance or something. Like, man, okay. What do we got going on here? You're more apt to stop and give your time there, especially if the dealer isn't a cunt. If you can tell right away the dealer, hey, what are you looking for? I got this, and if they offer the help. If I wear like a jersey such as a Kiki Vandeweghe jersey, oh, I got some Carmelo Anthony cards. Give a fuck about Carmelo Anthony. Got a Denver jersey on, or if whatever I'm wearing doesn't mean I fucking collect the people. That's an instant, like we've talked about before with dealer etiquette. Like I just don't. No, I don't need to have you tell me what cards you got. My eyes work. If I had a cane, I'm walking around tapping stuff because I'm blind. Then tell me what you got. Till then, I can see. If you have stuff that is behind the table, under the table, that is not displayed, please feel free to tell me then. Otherwise, I can look. I'm perfectly capable. So, always depends on that. But you hope to find, if nothing else, if you can't find anything for yourself, and you are of the giving nature, and you find cards for friends or fellow collectors that maybe, hey, I'm going to the show. Would you take a peek and look at or look for X, Y, and Z? I'll give you a list of like 5 cards, 10 cards, whatever. Because again, once you get in the show, that is one of the toughest things to do, is look for others. Because you're so overwhelmed with stuff, you're just seeing yourself. Like I'm looking for Terrell Davis, and I'm looking for Broncos autos, and maybe you got, by then, okay, I've got set cards I need to get, or key cards for sets that I want to do, and you're thinking of that, and if somebody's like, well, I need this card and that card, and it's like, well, it just becomes overwhelming. Which, it's not a great reason to not look for something, but again, unless you've been to a show, as long as they were in top loads or something, some sort of protection. I mean, he's taking all his stuff out and just putting them in there, and he's got a loaf of bread and package of chicken on the side. Well, then that could be troublesome. But you can do the looking at smaller shows, because again, you just don't have the quality or the quantity of people there. I'm going to stress that to Steve and Vinny enough. They've seen enough videos. It's not like they're going to go in there like, oh my god, what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? As big as you think it is, think bigger, because it's going to be just one of those situations where you're just like, fuck, there is a lot here. How do you do this? Even if that was like the main objective, even if it was just like, we just want to go for cards the whole time, how do you go there and make sure you cover all your bases? Because you can't. If you want to go through every fucking table just to give it a peek, just hey, well hey, fuck, there's a authentic Romanowski jersey for whatever. I mean, maybe that would be something you'd look at, and it's like, you don't know, because you don't think of that stuff until you see it. So, and again, a lot of that stuff where a program, a pennant, a bobblehead, all the collectibles, knickknacks that our good friend Bobby Burrell likes, the old vintage stuff. When you see that, maybe that jostles the old collecting excitement. And again, then how am I going to ship it? How am I going to get it back home? Because again, that's not like a card where you can just stick them in some boxes, put them on your carry-on, and be good. You see a 24 by 32 Elway TD dual auto photo from the Super Bowl. It's like, God, that's cool. I didn't think I'd want something like that, but it is before me, and I'm excited. So then you have to start thinking of how the hell am I going to get it home? So again, it's just something where it'll be fun, and it won't be cards all the time. There might be a day where we're like, you know what? You hear Friday, oh, everybody's there. Well, we might not be. Just whatever day it is. It's like, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, Thursday, Friday. Maybe it's not Saturday we're there. Oh, it's the biggest day. Well, great story. It's not the biggest day because we're not there. So fuck off. Just because you do get burnt out. And if you don't, well, hey, more power to you, because I know a lot of us love looking at the cards, but at the same time, it's good Lord. You sit there and do that 2-3 days. What's going on, Ray? You sit there and look at the cards. Look at the cards. Look at the cards. It's like, if the prices are right, I think the fun meter goes up. You're able to make a few purchases and not sit there and, oh fuck, here's an Ichiro Upper Deck MVP PSA 10, and they want $600. Yeah, there's got to be a good undercard. We have to figure something out there. I mean, there might be like a tag team match or a battle royal just to get a lot of these faces on the card. Sort of like the old wrestling cards from way back, where you need to have a battle royal, a 10-man tag, something going on. Yeah, we're pretty good here, Ray. The usual chatter and BS.
I'd love to avoid, though, not having to use the cash for bail money. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Hashtag
Just
true.
saying.
Hashtag
Just saying. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, maybe I could
Perhaps.
Legion of Doom, the old the bikes and the football pads. Whatever. Like somebody in the eye, it'd be like Dusty Rhodes. How's that for content?
As long as it doesn't lead to spending money on bail. This is true, Carlos. This is true. I'll try and stay positive and hope that be the case.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's just a warning, or get some Zips homemade sausage and beef sticks FedExed overnight or something. It's like a bribe.
Hey, whatever works. Yeah. I think we can wrap it up, fellas. Anybody else disagree? This is true, Carlos. This is true.
Thank you all for watching, jumping in, commenting. Always, like we say, makes it a hell of a lot easier. And a lot more fun. Helps the night go quick and yeah, fun, excitement, had by all. Again, to Vinny, congrats.
Thank you, thank you.
And until next week, remember, collecting cards is an awesome hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, it's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.